Soon speak at the National Prayer Breakfast. And at the same time,
progressives will be holding a news conference that is likely to echo a lot of what we heard at the nobody elected Elon rally. As had the Treasury Department, you had Democrats casting Musk's role at Doge as illegal.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
Democrats have been pressuring their lawmakers to do more to stop Trump's agenda, like protest Senate votes and throw up roadblocks, calling Elon Musk an unelected bureaucrat who's amassed unchecked power.
Though after a lawsuit, the Justice Department has put a limit on Musk's Department of Government Efficiency access to sensitive Treasury Department financial information. And as Musk aims to trim federal spending, today is the deadline day for federal workers to accept President Trump's buyout offer. And about 40,000 of them have agreed to resign and get pay and benefits through September. The president has a new transgender executive order.
With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over.
He threatens to cut federal funding to any schools that allow athletes born male from playing in women's and girls' sports. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning that Israel will give the U.S. control of Gaza to rebuild it after the fighting ends, as the ceasefire with Hamas remains in place. As for Palestinians living there,
the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz says any departures from Gaza would be voluntary. He's ordered his military to start making plans, accusing Hamas of using Gazans as human shields. Palestinians across the region fear the Israeli plan is an effort to erase them completely from their homeland.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. A controversial Trump nominee gets a vote today in the Senate Judiciary Committee whether to advance Kash Patel, who's in line to be FBI director, to the full Senate for confirmation the day after Pam Bondi was sworn in as Attorney General.
I will restore integrity to the Justice Department.
Bondi issued a memo to pause federal funding to sanctuary cities resisting federal immigration raids. America's listening to Fox News.
It's time to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract. Throw it overboard. You can get an iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0 with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. Get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. So get your new iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, pound 250, keyword Pure Talk from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
President Trump has sparred with California's Democratic governor, blaming his water management policies for making the deadly Los Angeles wildfire disaster worse. But Gavin Newsom went to the White House yesterday and then posted on X.
Just finished a meeting with President Trump, had a very successful day on Capitol Hill as well, meeting in a bipartisan manner with Republican Democratic leaders about disaster aid and disaster recovery for people impacted by the fires in Southern California.
Now, the president also met with Greg Abbott, the Republican governor of Texas.
Governor Abbott wants Texas' role in border security to continue. He offered use of facilities in Eagle Pass or Del Rio for the U.S. to use.
It could be military, it could be for Border Patrol, it could be for ICE agents, whatever the case may be.
Beyond that, Governor Abbott made another offer, and it concerned migrant detention.
4,000 prison cells at no cost to the United States that they will be able to use for at least the next 4 years or longer than that.
The Texas offer would add to tens of thousands of beds said to be at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Abbott said the president would talk to his advisors and Congress about the offer. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Another country is going to accept illegal immigrants being deported by the U.S., Guatemala. And like El Salvador, it'll accept migrants from any country. Now back to Texas. There's an empty cell on death row this morning.
37-year-old Stephen LaWayne Nelson received a lethal injection Wednesday, making it the second execution in the U.S. this year and the first of 4 scheduled in Texas over the next 3 months. While awaiting trial in 2011, Nelson was indicted in the killing of another jail inmate. Nelson was never tried on that charge after his guilty verdict and death sentence. His appeals have been denied by state and federal courts. Nelson claimed he'd only been a lookout for the robbery and blamed 2 other men for the murder. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures mixed up for the Dow, down for the NASDAQ before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign firefighters responded to a fire in the downtown area Wednesday morning near 210 South Market Street. A passerby reporting a fire in the single-story commercial building. Once on scene, firefighters found some materials that had caught fire. They extinguished the blaze within 5 minutes. The cause is unknown. Champaign City Council member who faced backlash for posting a swastika on his personal Facebook page asking for forgiveness. Council member Davion Williams releasing a statement apologizing for the now-deleted post. He also publicly apologized during a meeting last night, saying he understands the pain that the symbol represents for so many. Governor of the Illinois Department of Revenue encouraging eligible residents to take advantage of tax credits when filing this year's income tax returns. Illinois Earned Income Tax Credit is a benefit for working people with low to moderate income. Other credits include the Illinois Child Tax Credit, Volunteer Emergency Worker Credit, and the Education Expense Credit. You're up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
Yeah, it feels like we kind of dodged the bullet with anything seriously ice around here, Solier, because it was a little slick last night, but not. We got in time. 7 or 8 at night. It was.
That's right.
Taking doggies out were like slippery a little bit. So anyway, it's Greg Solier. There's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I'm Stevie J. This is ESPN 93.5. It is 7:06. Happy to have you listening here this morning with a whole bunch of things to cover. John Decker at the bottom of the hour about being a White House correspondent and in the press room every day in the White House. Greg, well, we the East Coast, man. I'm glad on the East Coast looks like flash flooding and
yeah, lots of stuff going on out there this morning. From moderate and heavy snow across the Empire State, Hudson Valley, heading into the Berkshires and parts of northern New England, and you get into flooding rainfall down through the far southern counties of Ohio, mainly through Kentucky this morning. Some of those spots there are going to see 4 and 5 inches before all is said and done. There is a surge of springtime with readings in the 60s currently, and then you go upstream to the north and northwest of us. Well, there's still that winter to deal with around here. There's Arctic air retooling. We'll get into at least the southern flank of that next week with winter storm watches up and hoisted for parts of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. We'll sit in between that around here. So the next one around here is primarily rain. Out the door this morning, a pretty comfortable morning, all things considered. We did have some fog issues on the overnight hours. That's still lingering, at least from advisory status, over towards the Indiana line, but visibilities there are coming up very nicely as we speak. 34 at Willett and Savoy, 32 at Rantoul, 32 at the Kankakee as well, 36 at St. Louis. Going to be a decent early Feb day today, becoming partly sunny, but breezy on the milder side compared to yesterday. Should top at about 42, 43, and a gusty west wind. Bit colder tonight, down to 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, still a couple of degrees above average with a lighter wind at 38. Then we get into another quick little spot of maybe some freezing rain late tomorrow night, early pre-dawn hours of Saturday, especially from about here in Champaign on northward. But then it's a rainy Saturday. That's it, with an east-northeasterly wind and a high at about 38. 37 Sunday, back into the mid-30s on Monday with a couple snow flurries. Then we turn colder the next week. Nothing Arctic. 32 on Tuesday, and late Tuesday into Wednesday, a couple of spells of light snow, short inch or so. And then by Wednesday, Thursday next week, only in the upper 20s for daytime highs. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Miguel Olchis, Greg Solier.
All right, off and running. ESPN 93.5, 7:09. Yeah.
We got to talk about it.
Not as much as I was planning on talking about it.
Darn it. And I was just reviewing the text line, 359-2255. There was some comments about KJ. Does he have an imaginary sling on his, does he favor his arm?
Brad says he's 100%.
Okay.
I think what's happened, this is from a fan, that's me. I think that the scouting report has figured out how to guard him effectively. Get the ball out of his hands, double team him, and he's not making shots right now. And so it's Will Riley is the guy that's kind of keeping us in ball games right now. But Thomas Isevich stepped on another guy's foot and really rolled his ankle. And so we'll see what our big man is like. They did tape him up. He did come back, but he limped off at the end of the game. So, again, there goes Tommy. I hope he's okay, but at Minnesota, one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, has found ways to beat pretty good teams up there in Minneapolis where we play Saturday. So, listen, just on to the – what's Brad say? On to the next.
Yes.
And see if we can start playing a little bit better. But, you know, as much as, you know, we have talent and as much as, you know, there's going to be probably 2 kids taken from our team in the NBA draft's first round in June – they're still 18. And so 18-year-olds have a whole lot to learn.
Yep.
And teams in the Big Ten are very good, and they know how to coach, and they know how to guard, and they know how to scout. So I think they're just being more effective in shutting down some of our really good players. And that's think about Major League Baseball. You have to adjust every at-bat. In fact, in Big League Baseball, you adjust every pitch. The pitcher's done this. You didn't expect it. The batter has to adjust to that. You're not hitting it very well. If I put it on the outside corner, we'll get good hitting it on the outside corner.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. So you have two guys guarding KJ. Somebody's wide open. But the other part of that is nobody's making shots except maybe Will Riley. So you just got to keep playing.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You can wring your hands, but go to the next game, see if you play better. Hopefully we play better so we have a chance. I mean, the way it feels right now, you're going, I hope we can play well in March.
Right.
Right now, it is feeling very Valley-like. I thought Nebraska was the Valley. We played great in the second half against Ohio State, particularly last 7 minutes.
That's right. And actually, yesterday, I thought we were going to turn it around when we started to fight back and had a blip in the second half where we took the lead.
But Rutgers came back on every possession and made a big shot, and they were definitely hungrier than I was last night.
Well, we out-rebounded them, but only by 41-40.
I thought it was 36-36. Anyway, it was close.
Okay.
They had us 15-5 to start the game. We had 6 turnovers in the first 5 minutes. It was just a bad start. We were down 17 points. We came all the way back, had a lead, but Rutgers answered every time. And then they stopped us a couple of defensive rebounds that just bounced off this guy, and we just couldn't clear it. So it was frustrating. And I think, again, everything is more frustrating when you have expectations.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like what Illinois football might run into this year. 18 starters, we're going to win them all. We're going to have some of that. We didn't play very well, and they beat it. It's just what it is. When you have a top 10 basketball program, which I believe we are, as a program, you're just going to not exceed expectations. When you come into a season and team, are not going to win very many. Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, how many games are going to win? Not very many. Cardinals, I think, are the only team in baseball that hasn't done anything, hasn't signed anybody. They're trying to get rid of guys. The Cardinals don't understand what's about to happen to their attendance. It's going to be a little embarrassing because fans will not go.
So what about something like Pujols or Yachty coming in on the management
It's
side?
not happening.
Okay.
Marmol's got another year.
Okay.
They're going to clear the deck maybe after that because this team, but then again, Cardinals are going to start playing well. The pitching's really good. And the team will come back, and I've never left. We're fans. It's called fanatic.
And speaking of that, we do have the inside scoop about the 2025 St. Louis Cardinals with Mike Claiborne, Ricky Horton, and special guests with the Max Twin City Recycling, bringing on our Thursday night 6 to 8 on your home for the Cardinals, ESPN 93.5.
All right, we jumped to Brad Underwood after the game. Most people did not hear this because it was posted very late. And, I'm not as hungry for information when we lose.
That's right.
It's just blah, blah, blah. I'm not as interested. Here he is after the game.
Yeah, give Rutgers all the credit. They deserve to win. Played much, much harder, much more focused than we did. Give them all the credit. We did some things well enough to fight back into the game and felt good about things at half and had a couple of small leads, and I thought we did a much better job on the glass after the first 6 minutes. End up with 18 offensive rebounds in a game that we were awful in the first 6 minutes, 7 minutes, but give them credit. We got a few stops late, couldn't get a defensive rebound, and very, very thin once Tommy went down and in foul trouble. Dylan had a nice night, but we've got to get to a point where you understand you're not going to win on the road, putting the team on the line 34 times and then turning it over as many times as we turned it over in the first, especially in the first 5 minutes of the game.
We ended with like 13 or so turnovers, 13, 14, just too many. And, Merez got in foul trouble, and then Tommy Swinders turned his ankle.
And what is the scoop on Trey White? Was he sick?
I think he's sick.
Okay. That happens.
You know that by my count, we have not lost a basketball game this year.
Right.
When everybody's played. But that, you know what it is? You know, the greatest ability is availability. Mm-hmm. And if you guys are hurt or sick, there's not a darn thing you can do about it. It's sports. It just happens, and sometimes you hit a rough patch. And I'd say based on what we saw earlier in the year and expectations, it feels kind of rough right now. And they're doing everything they can, but... yeah, we'll see what happens. We play in Minneapolis against Minnesota Golden Gophers, who've beaten Michigan up there at 5 o'clock Saturday, 5 o'clock.
So, okay. And
my women play tonight.
Yes, they do.
You want to see them win.
Northwestern at 6 o'clock.
They should win that one. Northwestern's 0-9. So we should handle that game as long as we don't look past anybody.
Don't jinx it. Let's just say we got a game tonight and come out and play.
We're favored to win. I trust the team. We'll really be focused on Northwestern and beat them. So if you want to see the Illini women, go out tonight.
There you go.
Get a jump start. That team is playing well. They're coming off the Maryland win, which was a shocker, and that could be a letdown, but I think we're going to win the game tonight. So.
And the Parkland women won yesterday. They're ranked number 25 over DAC, 86-59 yesterday. In Big Ten basketball, number 24, Michigan handled Oregon 80-76. Nebraska over Washington 86-72. Number 2, Duke beat Syracuse 83-54. And we have some NBA action with Milwaukee over Charlotte, 112-102. Minnesota over the Bulls, 138-101. Let's see, Edmonton over the Blackhawks, 4-3 in overtime. Another trending story that I don't know if you heard about, 29-year-old Grant Yudinsky, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, has hopped over to the Jaguars for Shad's team. So let's see how he does with that.
Shad's yacht is getting a lot of attention.
Yes.
It's parked outside of the Superdome. In fact, it's parked right by the New Orleans downtown aquarium.
Right, the aquarium.
Everybody knows where that, if you've been to New Orleans, you know where the aquarium is.
That's so beautiful.
It is a big yacht.
Yes.
400 feet. And 36 staff, 40 staff.
Right.
Big, beautiful. Can't call it a boat. It's a yacht.
But that makes sense. I mean, a lot of the NFL coming in from everywhere.
No,
of course,
you have meetings and stuff.
Yep.
You got a 400-foot boat. That's longer than a football field.
And really, the party is underway. The media has been interviewing.
Yeah, but it starts at noon on Sunday. Are you watching at noon for coverage? Who besides ardent Kansas City or Philadelphia fans watching any of that?
I mean, a little bit of Post Malone on that tailgate party show. I mean, I'm more in it on the entertainment.
You know, I mean,
stuff.
it maybe for napping purposes. What would you be interested in? 5.5 hours.
You're mainly just making sure you have all the dips and chips and drinks for
But
people.
you can't even do that for 5.5 hours.
Do I have to run out and get anything else after assessing?
Listen, they can sell the commercials on it. Great for them. It's good, but the interest level is not there for me for 5.5 hours. Let's check our weather. And get off my lawn! Weather brought to you this morning by Carl.
And Carl reminds you, they're there when it comes to your health. They'll be there every step of the way, from convenient care to advanced diagnostics. Count on Carl. Learn more at carl.org.
News Gazette has a piece this morning how some of Donald Trump's initiatives could hurt Champaign-Urbana. We got that next.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity made it through unscathed yesterday with that weather system that is currently bringing some big rain and flooding into parts of Kentucky and the Ohio Valley. Otherwise, drier Pacific air moving on in for the day today. Next weather system once again brings just a quick dose of some freezing moisture. Otherwise, a rain system due in on Saturday. Downward trend on temperatures around here. There's still plenty of winter time to go for next week. Otherwise, a little patchy fog here early on this morning east towards the Indiana line. A bit milder this afternoon, becoming partly sunny up to about 43 and a gusty westerly wind. Tonight, fair colder down to 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness high at about 38. Maybe a bit of freezing rain in spots after midnight tomorrow night. Low down to 29. And cloudy, rainy for the day on Saturday. A few spots begin with some freezing rain early in the day. Breezy with a high about 38. Clouds up to 37 on Sunday. A few snow flurries, 35 on Monday. 32 on Tuesday. Late Tuesday into Wednesday, a little dusting of snow. Temperatures mid next week in the upper 20s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, Building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Yum Brands, parent of KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, just unveiled an artificial intelligence-driven restaurant technology platform called Bite by Yum. The new technology will be used in online and mobile app ordering, for kitchen and delivery, for inventory, managing staff, and will include tools for team members. Yum's worldwide sales rose 8% in the recent quarter, with the strongest increase at Taco Bell. It's also raising the dividend it pays to shareholders by 6%. Eli Lilly's quarter is mixed. The stock is lower. It makes weight loss treatment Zepbound. Honeywell will split itself into 3 separate companies following General Electric. It's one of the last big industrial conglomerates. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Good morning, First Federal Savings Bank. How may I direct your call?
Speak with friendly, real people during lobby hours. It matters when you call First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. A real person located at the bank. Not a recording answers your call during lobby hours. Personal, friendly service makes a difference. 217-356-BANK.
Thank you for calling. Have a great day.
Rated 5-star superior by Bauer Financial, Inc. Fast, friendly, and local with local loan decisions and underwriting. If you're not already banking with us, give us a try. We think you'll love it here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 435120.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. All right, we got John Decker. It's Thursday. We'll call John coming up at the bottom of the hour from Gray Television. He's been a friend for a decade now, I think. Anyway, he will be coming up. All right, so News Gazette runs a piece. Deb Finan, mayor of Champaign, is talking about all the things that could impact based on some of the executive orders, like requiring local compliance or cooperation with the federal immigration enforcement.
Okay.
Now, I know that I think we're a sanctuary city, and I think, is it Urbana and Champaign? I have no explanation for anybody that'd want to protect criminal immigrants that are here illegally. I have no idea. Prohibit recipients of Department of Transportation support or assistance from imposing vaccine and mask mandates. I'm all for that. You can't make me wear a mask and get it. I just always disagreed with any mandate. Mitigate the impacts of Department of Transportation activities on families and family-specific difficulties. Give preference to communities with marriage and birth rates above the national average. Direct funding to local opportunity zones where permitted. Utilize user pay models. I'm not sure exactly what all that means, and I think that's what the cities are trying to sort out.
When you were talking about immigrants, the AI search says Urbana has declared itself a sanctuary city, meaning they'll offer some protections to people who enter the country illegally. Champaign is a welcoming city, meaning their policies promote immigration inclusion.
What about shoplifting? That's not even a federal crime to shoplift, but it's a federal crime to come in here illegally. Why would we open the door based on the law? Because you're breaking the law, allowing people, that's a federal crime to come in illegally. Why are you just sloughing that off? I disagree. And particularly when you're going after criminals, certainly the cities of Champaign and Urbana don't disagree with arresting criminals, right? Come on. Listen, there's a battle of common sense here. The Republicans clearly have the position of the party of common sense. The Democrats are arguing against common sense. For instance, let's have a little spoof on Doge, but these are real expenditures here now.
Hi, welcome to the Department of Government Efficiency. We were looking over last year's budget and we found some anomalies that we wanted to address. Okay, if you're talking about the military budget, if you want a safe country, that's how much we... Oh, we didn't even start looking at that yet. Get ready for that. No, we were looking at this list here. We wanted to start with the National Pillow Fluffing Initiative. I mean, don't you want your pillow to be fluffy? Not when you're spending over $1 million of taxpayer money. We're cutting that. Also, the Bureau of Elevator Music Standards. Explain yourself. What? Forgive me for trying to set the vibe, bro. $800,000 a year. The National Velcro Noise Study. What's the problem here? You don't have to spend $1 million a year to know that Velcro noise is annoying. Now, the Program of Ice Cube Uniformity and the American Cloud Watching Fund. Okay, that one's a problem, but I'm kind of OCD and I like it when my ice cubes are all the same size and shape, you know? Yeah, we all do, but that doesn't mean you spend $1 million. Now, the Federal Kazoo Orchestra Grant? It's amazing what they could do with those things, honestly.
This is
the
made
Federal
up.
Bureau of
I don't think so. I do not think so.
I mean, they're totally just taking things.
I don't. You can look up the pillow fluffing, but there are things like that, and maybe not the pillow fluffing. It can't be Velcro, but it's an exaggeration. It must be satirical, but it's not far from what we're reading. I mean, do you think we need to give $50,000 to somebody to put on a musical? That's not what USAID is for. It's for helping people eat, or from getting sick, or vaccines for polio. Things that I think we all agree are probably pretty good things to do. But some of them. Here's Caroline Levitt from the White House.
And one more thing before I wrap up, because I do want to get to these meetings, and I will see you all at
what
the
she's
EO
about to say is real, for sure.
I would just say that you brought to mind California and North Carolina, who continue to be on our hearts, and the president and this administration are committed to ensuring that these individuals get the funding that they need. And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala.
$2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. That's not the intent of USAID. Okay, there's one.
$6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. $20 million.
Why would I spend $6 million to help tourism in Egypt? Really?
On a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything, and in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first, and I think the successes of this week so far speak to that, and it's only Wednesday. So,
all right, so now what I think the Democrats are exploding, the left is exploding because they don't know what to do. It's going so fast, nobody has any idea all the things he's signing every day, so they want to impeach him. They're now having rallies to impeach the president and deport Elon Musk. So there's nothing the Democrats have right now. Somebody has to stand up and say, we've got to change what we're doing, because arguing against saving money, the tax dollars we send in on ridiculous things that 99% of this country would say, well, we don't need to do that for this. Somebody can have a fundraiser and help the arts program in Columbia if you want, but it shouldn't be federal dollars to help a Sesame Street campaign in Iraq. Really?
Right.
That's not what USAID was meant to be. It's about to help people survive and live and try and improve their life a little bit. But some of these programs, I know everything is subjective and arbitrary and all these other things, but dude, we have problems financially in America by a lot. That's the whole point. And to have people outrage, you're looking at the budget. Nobody's ever done that. I mean, we're looking at the line item. We used to talk to the Citizens for Government Waste all the time.
Yes.
And the pig and the oink oink
Yep.
and all the
pork that's on.
Oh my gosh! And we said, oh, that's so funny, but nobody cared.
Right.
But now we're in a point to where we are trillions and trillions of dollars behind, and it does matter. So we are trying to look at it, and people are just going absolutely ballistic that you dare to look at it. What is the problem? And then to go after criminal illegals, I don't get. What's the problem? 7:30. We'll be right back. John Decker coming up.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. President Trump posting on Truth Social that the Gaza Strip would be turned over to the United States by Israel at the conclusion of fighting, and that the Palestinians would have already been resettled in far safer and more beautiful communities.
The Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz says any departures from Gaza would be voluntary. He's ordered his military to start making plans, accusing Hamas of using Gazans as human shields. Palestinians across the region fear the Israeli plan is an effort to erase them completely from their homeland.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. It's a rough morning commute in some parts of the country.
A messy winter storm now moving across the Great Lakes, the Northeast, and the Mid-Atlantic, bringing snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain to the region. The system will exit this afternoon, but then we will have to watch another similar storm impact the same areas over the weekend.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. University receiving the largest number for U of I receiving the largest number of first-year applications in its history for fall 2025. The university will not release the exact number of applicants until the 10th day reports in fall of 2025, as these numbers are still subject to change. Champaign firefighters did respond to a fire in downtown area yesterday morning at 210 South Market Street. A passerby reporting a fire in the single-story commercial building. Once on scene, firefighters found materials that had caught on fire. They were able to extinguish the flames within minutes. The cause of the fire is unknown. Some Central Illinois businesses seeing a financial impact when it comes to supplying eggs. Owner of Sam's Cafe in Champaign said for them, they haven't noticed any egg shortages, but one thing they've been dealing with for the past 5 months is the price, quadrupling around $22 for a case of 15 dozen eggs. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, not so bad yesterday. Got a little slick last night around here, but not bad. Now we're pretty much past that. Going to get a little warmer today. Greg's weather brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
There's a job fair between 5 and 6:30 tonight at the Phillips Recreation Center, 505 Stoughton in Urbana. And if you're interested in lifeguard or crew or counselor for camps, part-time, whatever you need, you can take note at urbanaparks.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity made it through in good shape with yesterday's weather system, which is currently bringing heavy rain into parts of Kentucky, snow and ice into the Northeast and New England. Winter storm watches ahead of the next weather system that takes aim around here. That on tap into the upper Midwest and parts of the northern Corn Belt. And boy, plenty of Arctic air just north of the Canadian border. We'll get into some of that cold around here for next week. In the meantime, becoming partly sunny for the day today. 43 the high with a gusty west wind. Tonight, fair colder 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, lighter wind, the high near 38. Touch of freezing rain in spots well after midnight. Tomorrow night, low down to 29. Cloudy, breezy, rainy for the day on Saturday. A spot of freezing rain early, the high about 38. And a mostly cloudy Sunday at 37. A few snow flurries here early next week. A Monday high at 35. Touch of light snow, maybe a short inch or so late Tuesday into Wednesday. 32 on Tuesday. Then daytime temperatures only in the upper 20s. Nights in the teens. A colder weather pattern for the middle and late portions of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday. John Decker. John Decker. John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker. He is the one we know. I want to talk to John Decker. He's at the White House in press room.
John Decker. John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker. John
Yes,
Decker.
children and combines now singing the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, Great Television's White House and national correspondent, it's John Decker. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Stevie, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good week.
We are, but I'm going to send you some paperwork today. I hope you're okay.
Paperwork. What's that for, Stevie?
Tell me. We are, I thought, going together on the VRBO in Greenland and now Gaza. So we're getting a VRBO right on the Mediterranean, baby. And it's good to go by 2035 is the hope. So there we go. Anyway, John Decker trying to keep up with the news. I like a president who thinks out of the box. I doubt if we're doing the Gaza thing, but I think new ideas are welcome because it hasn't seemed to work for a couple thousand years. So, I mean, following all that, what are your thoughts keeping up?
Well, I agree with you. It's not happening. You know, you saw the reaction coming from Arab countries in the region. They immediately said, no go. That's not happening. You know what? What these Arab countries want is a Palestinian state. They don't want to take in Palestinians in the same way America doesn't want to take in, migrants, just to come into our country, illegally. So it's not happening as it relates to those Arab countries. Also, you've noticed this quite well. It seems to me, and I base this simply upon votes that take place at the UN, Stevie, that most of the world is pro-Palestinian. They're not pro-Israel. So they, too, would like to see a two-state solution, a Palestinian state alongside an Israeli state, and that is not something what Donald Trump envisions based upon what he said the other day at that press conference.
I wonder what you do, though, John, when you have, clearly the position of Hamas, who has been running Palestine. They don't want Israel to be there. So how do you do a two-state when one side essentially wants you dead?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the reason why we see what's been happening in that part of the world, that region of the world, for 75 years. I mean, it's just a constant state of war. This idea of essentially developing Gaza, the first time I heard it was when Jared Kushner spoke about it last spring. And, it's an idea that obviously is attractive to developers like Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump is a developer at heart. It's valuable land, as you point out, on the Mediterranean, beautiful beaches. It is a valuable space. And here's the thing, Stevie, the U.S., the EU, they've given over the course of, the past half century, billions with a B, billions of dollars to Hamas, and before Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, and they just line their own pockets with that money. They've done nothing for the Palestinian people, and that's the reason, even before there was a war between Hamas and Israel, it was essentially a slum in Gaza. And now, of course, it's been leveled because of the war that's been going on since October the 7th, a year and a half ago.
Yeah. No, it's been an ongoing problem, and I know that Israel tried to wipe out Hamas, which it's just not possible. It hasn't ISIS regenerated a little bit, and I mean, Taliban's kind of bad, and Al Qaeda's out there somewhere. I mean, so you've got these generations that are being raised, taught maybe not the truth always, just how evil we are, and you must kill them.
Right.
Not our way of life. I've always said it's God and divine intervention, because I don't think man can come up with a solution here. I think it's way too complex and way too deeply rooted.
Well, you might be right about that. I'm always hopeful. It's my nature. But boy, talk about rebuilding. And that rebuilding should not involve American money. It shouldn't involve American troops. It shouldn't involve Arab countries in the region. You want to rebuild Gaza? If you want a two-state solution, then you should step up Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Egypt, and use your money, your wealth to rebuild Gaza. That's I think the point that some Republicans who are following this very closely have also said.
Just have Dubai City, the second. I mean, have them build Dubai, right there. It's
exactly
25 miles
There's
long.
A model for it.
It's incredible. What with the complex nature of all of that. All right, so back here, I have no idea, and I am rather frustrated how anybody could oppose removing illegal criminal migrants. I don't understand. If you're here legally, that's wonderful. But if they're criminals, John, they've been convicted of all these horrific crimes. Why would you be opposed to that if you're mayor of a big city?
I don't know. I don't know if you're a big city mayor and you're defending the criminals that are here with that criminal background and also in the country illegally, I don't know how you defend that. It's hard to see. But some big city mayors do just that, and they say that their city remains a sanctuary city. So we'll see. Pam Bondi was sworn in yesterday. You may have seen this, Stevie.
Right.
As
Yeah,
the new Attorney General.
You were 10 feet away, man.
I was 5 feet away.
5 feet away.
I forgot about 10 feet away. I was 5 feet away. Yeah, I could have knocked that Bible right out of her hand. But in any case, I was there when she was sworn in by Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. I even got a question answered by both the president and the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, while I was in the Oval Office yesterday. But that's her responsibility now that she's the new AG, is to, crack down as it relates to the number one issue for President Trump. I think the reason that got him elected, border security, more than anything else, and also, deliver a stern message to those mayors of sanctuary cities that you have to abide by federal law. You can't, just go about doing your own thing. There is a federal law, and, if you don't abide by that federal law, then some of that federal money that you receive every year may be going away. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be interesting to see how she goes about doing her job. She was confirmed, Stevie, 54 to 46. One Democrat voted for her to be the next Attorney General. Do you know who that was? That's my trivia for the day.
John Fetterman.
You got it. John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. Yeah. That's pretty good. Good guess if you knew it. But in any case, yeah, he's the one Democrat who voted for her. And I think he's one of those Democratic senators that Donald Trump will reach out to on certain issues to seek his support. And we saw he got the support behind Pam Bondi in terms of being the next Attorney General of the United States.
Is the vote for Kash Patel today? I thought I heard that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would probably be in committee.
Okay.
We've seen these committee votes. And then, as you saw, RFK Jr., he squeaked by in committee. Tulsi Gabbard squeaked by in committee, but they're on their way to being confirmed by the full Senate. Okay,
it's John Decker, Gray Television's White House correspondent and also national correspondent. He does a great job. It's Gray TV, GRAY TV, if you want to look up some of the reporting from John Decker on ESPN 93.5. All right, so also the Democrats are now calling the left, I would say, calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump. I think things are going so fast. Why would anybody be aghast at looking closely at your budget and what you spend money on? But they're going nuts on the USAID.
Well, look, I think any department or agency of the federal government, should be looked at in terms of whether they're spending their money wisely, whether there's any fraud, waste, or abuse. No department or agency is above that, and so USAID, people may not realize this, but it plays an important role in the world as a counterweight to China. So China has, provided humanitarian aid to places in South and Latin America, places in Africa. And you don't want those countries saying, you know what, I think we like China more than we like the U.S. And that's one of the functions of USAID when we provide that humanitarian relief to those third world countries, is to have those third world countries look to the United States as the leader of the world, rather than looking to China as the leader of the world.
I understand that, and I think there's certainly merit absolutely to some of that. But if China wants to sponsor $20 million for a Sesame Street in Iraq, I'm going to let them do it. I'm just going to let them do it. I mean, some of the things in there. Now, you're talking about polio and HIV and trying to help people eat and have nourishment and help. That's what USA, I thought, was for. But, for a transgender comic book wasn't on my list. I'm sorry. So there's some things I would allow China to take part in, which they probably would not do. But they're definitely, there's such a gap here, John, I believe, for a Democrat to come out and say, we want to look like Joe Manchin. We want to look like somebody with some common sense that would rival the Republicans, and then just say, listen, you're going to get shouted down by the far left, but the far left needs to be the far left. Democratic Party, right. I think there's an opportunity for a John Decker type to jump up and say, I'll lead this party, but we're going to take it back to the middle where most Americans live. Yeah, well, I'm not interested. I like how you say type. I was breaking news here. You're going to enter the world of politics. They're going to vote for you. No, come on, man. Come on, man. I love asking the questions in the Oval Office. No, it's all good. But look, I think that you're right. But unfortunately for Democrats,
in terms of their leadership, they just named a new head of the DNC. He is the former head of the Minnesota Democratic Party, and he is just, when you listen to him speak, he sounds just like, he's attending a party with AOC and other progressives.
Yeah, right.
And it's as if they didn't learn anything from the results of the 2024 presidential election or the fact that they lost the control of the U.S. Senate. So, to me, that's the person who needs to, put their ear to the ground and hear how the world has changed dramatically. It's right of center. That's where America is right now. It's certainly not far left, which is where a lot of the Democratic Party is right now.
Yeah, and I think if some charismatic somebody that made sense, you'd be surprised at how much support that would get, because there's a lot of Democrats that are afraid to poke up and say anything because they're going to get shouted down.
Yeah, there was, what was that name of that congressman from Minnesota who challenged Joe Biden?
Yeah, he was kind of common sensey. There's no question.
Common sense, right?
Yeah.
Common sense, and they said, we don't care about you. We're going to vote for the old guy. And then it turns out they didn't want the old guy after all. They dropped him, and they put their support behind the vice president, Kamala Harris. So I don't know if it seems to me the Democratic Party right now is a party that is a majority progressive left party. It's not middle of the road. It's not trying to move middle of the road. The House Speaker is trying to do that. Not the House Speaker. The minority leader in the House is trying to do that, Hakeem Jeffries. But the rest of his party is so far left.
So maybe he recognizes it, but you just can't get it done right now. But
he does, and he wants to be the House Speaker. He would love to be the House Speaker, but I just don't see it happening as long as the party has moved so far to the left and so far to the positions of people like Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. As long as that exists, then the House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, it will remain to be controlled by the Republican Party.
But there is an opportunity, but it's going to take a real charismatic, strong guy with money that can come out, money. That would come out and bring that Democratic Party that has had some pretty impressive people in my lifetime. I mean, I respected Paul Simon. I didn't really agree with a lot of his stuff, but you could talk about it. You could have conversations about it. Right now, to ever get somebody outside John Fetterman to vote for a candidate or a cabinet member, it's just not happening because they stick together and it's all anti-Trump. It's not let's get America better at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Although, you see, small glimmers of hope. Yep. Marco Rubio, he was supported in the Senate for his nomination to be Secretary of State. I think it was 99-0. There are elements of reasonableness, but maybe not for some of the cabinet positions that President Trump has put forward. But ultimately, I think all of his cabinet choices, Stevie, are going to be confirmed by the full Senate.
Yeah, your question was Tulsi, and boy, was that close. I mean,
was very close.
To get Susan Collins, you can't get Susan. Yeah. I didn't think she'd get Susan Collins. She did.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah, and the same thing for RFK Jr. Yeah. One senator made the difference. Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. He votes the other way, and he kills the nomination. But he voted to support RFK Jr., and now as a result, he is on his way to being the next Secretary of Health and Human Services.
John Decker, you have to take time off, but you're going to miss a lot when you take 3 days off, right? I mean,
no.
it's
I'm doing it. I got to live a life. Absolutely.
When is your next planned something? You must go see the Rolling Stones or something.
We're going to go to Miami late next month, so
awesome.
We're looking forward to that. So some warm weather. That'll be for a tennis tournament. So looking forward to just a few days off, just a little bit of a break.
You can't unplug though. Do you always check the stuff to see?
I got to. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, during the first Trump term, Stevie, I took vacation like people do, and I come back and I ask people, I haven't heard from so and so. They go, oh, you it must have been when you were on vacation.
Wow.
That person got fired.
Oh, boy.
And they got fired by Twitter, something like that. So
wow.
That's what you have to contend with.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, we appreciate all your information, all the good work that you, John Decker, always there in the middle of history. And I asked you by text yesterday, do you get tired of going to the Oval Office again? You said no. You really don't?
No.
You don't get jacked up to go in?
How could you?
I don't know.
No,
I think a lot of people take things for granted, and you don't.
No, I don't.
You just don't.
I do not.
You just don't. And you're becoming quite maybe the most respected White House reporter in the press room. I think people have referenced you as the most respected press guy. So how about that?
Well, that's nice, and I just go about, how I do it, Stevie. I just go about doing my job and asking tough questions, regardless of who's in the administration, and, that's the way I think you should go about doing your job.
Yeah, well, I would fail miserably. Hey, that was ridiculous!
Well, and what do you think of the new gal for Trump? I mean, she seems to be doing well.
Caroline seems sharp.
Oh, Caroline, yeah, she's doing a good job. Yeah, she's had 3 briefings so far, 3 White House press briefings, including one yesterday. I get called upon, which is nice. And, it's a tough job. You know that, Stevie. What a tough job it is to be the White House press secretary to begin with, but to be Donald Trump's press secretary, that is stressful. And she's a new mom, too, so that's got to be really tough.
John Decker, keep up your fine work.
We did get a question, and at 359-2255, asked John, would Democrats arguing and causing rhetoric, will they lose some more seats in 2 years in the House and Senate?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's such a long time away. That's an eternity in politics. Save that question for this time next year as we get closer to the midterms, and I'll have a better answer.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
John, keep it up. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right.
That's John Decker, Gray Television's White House and national correspondent on ESPN 93.5. Yeah, you're always welcome to chime in at 217-359-2255. That would be the Fisher National Bank text line. Did you know? Nathaniel's Son coming up. First, your weather brought to you by Watts Copy Systems. If you need to get an evaluation on your printer, you might save really good money on color copies and stuff.
And oftentimes your printer's hooked up to your computer, and if you want to jump in and do a virtual meeting with them, they're real good at that at Watts.
Watts does it all. 217-352-0428.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana and vicinity made it through unscathed yesterday with that weather system that is currently bringing some big rain and flooding into parts of Kentucky and the Ohio Valley. Otherwise, drier Pacific air moving on in for the day today. Next weather system once again brings just a quick dose of some freezing moisture. Otherwise, a rain system due in on Saturday. Downward trend on temperatures around here. There's still plenty of winter time to go for next week. Otherwise, a little patchy fog here early on this morning east towards the Indiana line. A bit milder this afternoon, becoming partly sunny up to about 43 and a gusty westerly wind. Tonight, fair colder down to 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness high at about 38. Maybe a bit of freezing rain in spots after midnight tomorrow night, low down to 29. And cloudy, rainy for the day on Saturday. A few spots begin with some freezing rain early in the day, breezy with a high about 38. Clouds up to 37 on Sunday. A few snow flurries, 35 on Monday, 32 on Tuesday, late Tuesday into Wednesday, a little dusting of snow. Temperatures mid next week in the upper 20s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Are you looking to get the most from your money? If not, you should be. Free rewards checking from Fisher National Bank gives you access to their reward saver, which earns you an exceptional annual percentage yield and can really increase your earnings potential. No monthly service fees or minimum balance required. When you're ready to make the most of your money, switch to rewards checking and rewards saver from Fisher National Bank. See monthly requirements at any branch or fishernational.com. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we
on Thursdays we do Did You Know? Nathaniel's son in Chicago, Nathaniel Dad, whose daughter Josephine turns 1 month next Friday. Nathaniel.
That's right.
Wow.
Valentine's Day, 1 month birthday.
I love it.
And how are you sleeping?
You know, like any parent of a newborn, about 90 minutes at a time. But, you know, we've gotten some longer stretches, and I tell you, it's incredible how big of a difference, you know, 1 3-hour session can make.
Yeah.
Sleep.
No, you grow to appreciate that. It's Nathaniel's son who presents Did You Know? Every Thursday at this time. What are we doing today, son?
Well, you know, this morning we've, I'm sure if any of us have kept up with the news, we've been hearing lots of talks with the new administration and things like, oh, gee, maybe Canada will become the 51st state. And a while ago there was talks about Greenland becoming part of the United States. And so this morning I thought we'd take a little time to unpack some of the territories and states that the United States has. Now, did you know that 31 of our existing states started as U.S. territories, the most recent of which to become official states were Alaska and Hawaii. Right at the end, about 1959, I believe, was the last one with Alaska. Now, currently the U.S. has quite a few territories. 5 of them are populated, and then 4 of them are considered organized, and I'll explain more what that means. But the 5 populated territories, we might know this, it's American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, each of those are over in the Pacific Ocean, and then Puerto Rico in the Caribbean, and then the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, American territories can seem vague, and technically they're under American sovereignty and are treated as part of the U.S. in some ways, but not others. Really, it boils down to territories belong to the U.S., but are technically not considered part of the U.S. Now, people living in these territories are, in fact, U.S. citizens. Anyone who's born there is a citizen, and they enjoy access to the benefits of the federal government, but they can't participate in elections. But interestingly enough, each body of populations in the organized territories actually elects a non-voting member to the House of Representatives. This individual can introduce legislation and address the House on the floor, have offices and staff, but they can't vote on passing any legislation. So, while some of these topics may seem far-fetched, we do have active territories, and while I would think that the likelihood is pretty low that we're going to acquire any new territories, I was actually talking with a Canadian friend last night, and it sounds like about 99.9% of Canadians would be opposed to this, but we'll see.
I think it all kind of leads to renewed partnerships. Like I know that a big old powerful guy in Canada said, well, we could certainly work together on some of the energy and things like, so maybe it'll draw more, let's work together because it's in our benefit. And the whole 51st state kind of started when he had Justin Trudeau in Mar-a-Lago about 4 months ago and suggested he'd be a good governor of the new state of Canada.
Oh,
well, anyway, I remember there was actually a vote in Puerto Rico whether the Puerto Ricans wanted to become the 51st state.
Right.
And that's kind of been a thing over the last, 10, 20 years. So I don't know.
And I think from the research I did, in order for a territory to become a state, Congress has to, jointly pass legislation introducing that territory as a state.
Yeah, so you're telling me we shouldn't buy that VRBO in Greenland yet? Is that kind of the idea?
I mean, you can purchase a territory from someone, but that would take a lot.
Well, plus, I mean, in winter, the high in Greenland is -20, so I don't know why we'd want to go there except for maybe military purposes and defense.
I think it's also it's an incredible resource for natural resources,
Yes.
lots of minerals and things that are going to be important over the coming decades.
You'd be kind of holed up at -20 waiting for thawing, and summer it gets to 60 in Greenland, so that wakes up at 35 or 40, and yeah, this is why there's only 56,000 people on the world's largest island, Greenland. 56,000 residents. That's it.
Nathaniel, maybe you should ask why Greenland is called Greenland and not Whiteland if they're cold so often, and probably
that's an interesting one, Diane. Or even Iceland versus Greenland.
Right.
Iceland is in fact mostly green, and Greenland is mostly ice.
Yeah. So I mean, why would you call a country Iceland? Because it's like too cold sounding.
I know.
Nathaniel's son, well done. We appreciate it very much. Hug little Josephine and your lovely bride, Allison. We appreciate it.
I will. All right. Thanks, guys.
Hug soon. Nathaniel's son in Chicago. Now Nathaniel's son / dad.
Yes. Congratulations on you being grandpa.
And Janet being grandmama.
Oh,
yeah,
so
no, we're
sweet.
loving it very, very much. So pretty exciting and great having Nathaniel on Thursday. So yeah, and everything he talks about, I never know. So I did know Puerto Rico was kind of a territory, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John, some beautiful islands that we really have.
Samoa and Guam, that sort
I've
of
not
thing
been
I
that
don't think
direction.
about.
Yeah, West way out in the Pacific. Some people live there.
Yep.
Take a minute to get home for Thanksgiving. That's
right.
for sure. All right, the news coming up. Our pitmaster, Tim, is on Thursdays as well, so that'll be next hour.
Hear the show on X, TVJAY FM.
Yep, streaming live and never, ever stopped for censor.
The podcast is at StevieJay.com.
News now. You're listening to WXJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's time for the National Prayer Breakfast. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Without faith in God, there would be no American story.
President Trump addressing members of Congress at the Capitol first.
We're very hurt by what COVID did to religion. It really hurt it badly. People couldn't go to church for a long period of time.
Well, the breakfast is about to start at the Hilton in Washington. This is the last day for federal workers to accept the president's offer to resign now and be paid through September.
We expect a surge of federal workers, according to the White House, to accept the buyout offer before the midnight deadline. As of yesterday, about 40,000 federal workers had accepted this program out of an approximate 2 million who could be eligible. It is, however, not quite yet the 5 to 10% that the White House estimated would take this deal and resign from their jobs, which, if they were to hit that goal, would save an estimated $100 billion annually.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House as Democrats keep protesting the Department of Government Efficiency's push to trim spending and cut back federal agencies. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley says
Elon Musk wasn't elected or appointed by anyone, and the behavior and the actions that he is taking are unconstitutional and illegal.
Israel is working to get Palestinians to leave Gaza voluntarily as President Trump keeps pushing to have the U.S. take over Gaza and rebuild it, though that's being opposed throughout the Middle East. It is a wintry morning for about 100 million Americans under advisories, with sleet, snow, and ice from the Dakotas to Maine down to Washington, D.C. And on top of that, Fox Weather's Britta Merwin reports.
Tornado watch is now in effect for Kentucky, and we have a flash flood emergency in West Virginia. Charleston locked up in the middle of that. They have high water rescues and a closure on Interstate 64.
Driving is dicey in many areas. Air travel is affected. Nearly 500 flights are canceled, more than 1,000 delayed. America's listening to Fox News.
It's time to throw out your overpriced big wireless contract. Throw it overboard. You can get an iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0 with a qualifying plan of just $45 a month. Get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 25 gigs of data, mobile hotspot. You get all of it. So get your new iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, pound 250, keyword Pure Talk from Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
A plane has crashed in the Philippines.
The U.S. military-contracted light aircraft came down in a rice field in the southern Philippines. The bodies of all 4 people who were on board have been removed from the wreckage in Maguindanao del Sur province. We don't yet know the identities or roles of the victims, but a local safety officer said they appeared to be foreign nationals.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The Senate Judiciary Committee plans a key vote today on Kash Patel, the FBI director nominee who Democrats oppose. But if all Republicans vote yes, they'll advance Patel to the full Senate for a confirmation vote at a later time. Tonight, Russ Vogt could get final Senate approval to lead the Office of Management and Budget. Democrats oppose him, too. This is the day after Scott Turner was confirmed as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and Pam Bondi Bundy was sworn in as Attorney General.
I will fight violent crime throughout this country and throughout this world and make America safe again.
Memos issued on Attorney General Bundy's first day in office, shared with Fox News Digital, include directing the DOJ to pause all federal funding for sanctuary cities, to closely work with the Department of Homeland Security to completely eliminate the threats of cartels and transnational criminal organizations, to end the moratorium on federal executions requiring prosecutors to seek the death penalty when appropriate, and to establish a weaponization working group to flag what's described as politicized justice, including looking into prosecutions against President Trump. Bondi, who was confirmed by the Senate and sworn in this week, faced criticism over her political ties to the president and refusal to rule out investigations into his critics. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
We got an update on unemployment this morning, showing a rise in first-time jobless claims last week, up to 219,000. The number of Americans continuing to collect benefits spiked up by 36,000 to 1.88 million. Tomorrow we'll get the monthly hiring numbers and the new unemployment rate for January. On Wall Street, stock futures rising modestly before the opening bell this hour. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Governor of the Illinois Department of Revenue encouraging eligible residents to take advantage of tax credits when filing this year's income tax returns. Illinois Earned Income Tax Credit is a benefit for working people with low to moderate income. Other credits include the Illinois Child Tax Credit, Volunteer Emergency Worker Credit, and the Education Expense Credit. Champaign firefighters responded to a fire in the downtown area Wednesday morning near 210 South Market Street. A passerby reporting a fire in the single-story commercial building. Once on scene, firefighters found some materials that had caught fire. They extinguished the blaze within 5 minutes. The cause is unknown. Champaign City Council member who faced backlash for posting a swastika on his personal Facebook page asking for forgiveness. Council member Davion Williams releasing a statement apologizing for the now deleted post. He also publicly apologized during a meeting last night, saying he understands the pain that the symbol represents for so many. You're up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
Yes, sir. All right, into our 8 o'clock hour, ESPN 93.5. It's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
I am Stevie J. That's our meteorologist, Greg Solier. He's not up yet.
Okay.
Anyway, we had some icy conditions last night, but you were probably inside. It was like 8 o'clock last night. My sidewalk was slippery, but that was it. I was expecting that to be kind of an all-day thing, so it kind of blew through. And now if you look at the maps on the East Coast, it's like crazy. I mean, it looks like flash floods and snow and ice, and it just blown through like south to Virginia or something. Anyway, there's a big old band of stuff that's coming. So, yeah. Is it me?
I don't know, and I was going to see if I see any kind of messages. So,
well, we can talk about Nate Evans.
Yes, we could.
Yes, it is 8:07. Michael was out of state and needed to sell his home. So he reached out to the experts at the Nate Evans Group for help. Michael says the team at Nate Evans was able to help him get his home ready for the market and did a great job in negotiating multiple offers for his home. Michael says that he's grateful for all their hard work and highly recommends the Nate Evans Group.
And Greg, we'll get to you in just a moment. You know, if there's ever a chance that you and Christine do want to up and move, it is your timeline here that they'll follow at Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty to get you that immediate cash offer on your home. If you're in a hurry, there's flexible fees. You can sell your home for the most money possible. As you just go to Nate Evans Group and do that search, you can also go there and get home value as they look at the page and enter your address. Call the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans, 217-239-7113. A friend you can trust. An online search to Nate Evans Group to start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Ever wonder why you pay your bank to have a checking account? Fisher National Bank does too. You see, they offer free rewards cashback checking that gives you cash back on debit purchases, no service fees or balance requirements. Simply make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have one direct deposit in a monthly cycle. It's so simple. Reward yourself today with rewards cashback checking. Learn more at any branch or FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, our meteorologist is Greg Solier. How are you, sir?
My apologies. I didn't hear the alarm going off. Now, my bad. Score it accordingly on your scorecard, ladies and gentlemen.
He's like an octopus, man. His little tentacles going everywhere trying to keep up, man. He's got this, he's got that. You're on national television. You're kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, sometimes we do, make an error out there. Not, anything that's going to get me in the major leagues. But you're
as accurate as I've heard. Period. I mean,
well, thank you.
You tell me about stuff, and
we try to.
Kind of matters when you wake up and kind of know the weather.
Value-added weather forecasting.
But when you wake up and you kind of know the deal, and it's what you said, it's huge. It kind of prepares your day. I know how to dress. I know how to do all that stuff. So I'm going to be dressing in more layers perhaps next week, I guess. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story around here. We're not done with wintertime, but I think as we go farther into the month of February, not only do we have winter weather systems to contend with, spring tries to make return and hold on to the southern states, and of course the usual cold up to the north. And so we think it'll be still an ongoing busy weather pattern across, at least here in east central Illinois, much of the Midwest and the Corn Belt at large. We did escape kind of a bullet around here from some of that freezing stuff on a widespread basis. That's doing its thing in the northeast to New England. Big rain down through Kentucky, but already the winter storm watches and advisories up through the upper Midwest, as the next one coming our way is going to be primarily, not all, but primarily a rain feature. But again, colder days next week. 34, right? Make that 33 now at Willard and Savoy. 32 at Rantoul. We'll get partly sunny, breezy. Not a bad day's worth of early Feb weather going across the area. 43, that's about 10 above average on a gusty west wind, down to 24 for tonight. 38 tomorrow with increasing clouds, and it's primarily, not all, but mainly a rain system in here between tomorrow night and Saturday, but it may start as some freezing rain in spots here, especially from Champaign on northward. 29 tomorrow night, up to 38 on Saturday, 37 on Sunday, and we kind of get a cooling trend next week with a couple snow flurries. 35 on Monday, a little light snow, inch or two Tuesday to Wednesday, and by Thursday, daytime temperatures only in the upper 20s. For CBD Broadcasting, I'm Dolchis, Greg Solye.
This is fascinating what's happening on the TV.
Well,
they're wanting to shut down what Elon Musk is doing, right?
I have been very blessed in my career to be able to manage some things and to keep track of numbers and be accountable for numbers. I never, ever expected to be nervous to show what we do.
Right.
It was very transparent. Here's our whole P&L, profit and loss. Here's what we spend money on. Here's what we earn money on. We can get all the detail you want. Look away. Look at all of it. Because that's how our government should be, but it's not even close.
Not even
the Democrats
close.
The Democrats are just exploding over the audacity of some guy that needs to be deported and stupid. He's dumb, Elon Musk.
A threat to our democracy is what's being talked about now.
You're looking closely at where we spend your dollar. I have zero objections to that. Should we not know where my tax dollar goes?
Is it that we're revealing so many, inside scoop on our finances that makes people nervous about Elon taking a peek? I don't know.
I mean,
does that make us vulnerable? I guess
it makes us embarrassed because if you have no idea what a billion is, what a trillion is, we don't comprehend that. I mean, to try and figure out what is it a billion seconds ago? A billion seconds ago, it was like World War II. That's how much a billion is. A billion minutes ago, didn't Jesus walk the earth? I mean, it's unbelievable how big a number. Now, a trillion is 1,000 billions. So you're talking
Hard
about
to get your head around all that.
When we're $6 trillion, that's what we spend every year, and you don't really feel it because the tax comes out of your check. But do you like the tax out of your check? Do you like more tax coming out? No. Would you like to keep 100% of what you earn? Yeah. Well, to run a government, you probably need something for defense. You probably need something to protect my borders, do my streets. But past that, you talk to me about it because I don't think you'll be very good at it. I mean, I really think that private would do better. It just does because there's more urgency. The people have to work harder. They don't keep their job. Federal government are just monoliths to spend stuff and hide stuff. Yeah. That's what it's become.
It seems like that's the truth.
The intention and the verbiage is always, that sounds good. It never happens like that. So here comes Elon Musk, who's one of the probably Einsteins of our time. He's a genius, guys. You just don't, all the things, Tesla, rockets, satellite dishes, you do it. Tell me how that goes. Anyway, the fact that he's looking at everything and exposing it is humiliating. It's like when you see a bill and you paid it forever and you never really had to pay it.
Yeah.
It's $28 a month and you didn't know.
Dang it.
And you're
Quit
going,
looking at me.
Look at me. I mean, we just all spend stuff and you go, oh, that was such a dumb thing.
Right.
Why don't we have the same care when it comes to the United States and how the money they take from me is supposed to be spent responsibly? And so to hear some of the things where our money goes, the people that spend government money, it just doesn't feel like your money and it's free and all these other things. And if you don't spend what you have in your budget, you don't get it the next year. So they go spend it on.
So you spend it on something.
You spend it on new desks and computers. And that's not how the world should work.
Right.
So the whole outrage by the Democrats, essentially the Democrats' only position right now is against common sense. I mean, you're against having a look at how money is spent? To me, that's not common sense. You're against trying to take criminals that have raped and murdered and pedophiled and everything else. You object to taking them out of your country? That's against common sense. I mean, right now, the freeze of USAID is a 56%er and going up. 56% are saying, heck yeah, shut them down. They're insubordinate and they're stealing our money. Folks, you get what you tolerate, the great Mike Ditka used to say. You get what you tolerate. Coach would still say it if I had him on the phone. So anyway, it doesn't make any sense. And if you're the party of opposition to what? Common sense? What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you be against common sense? So they got an issue.
I feel like they just want to protect what's happening with our American
system
finance.
That they're lining their pockets with. They say all the rich are the ones they get all the benefits. Listen, I'd like to know all of your accounts and all the insider trading that Congress has done.
That's right.
I'd like to know all the information you receive before I do and make money on it. That's despicable.
It's gone through the Stevie J filter now, and I feel more comfortable with Elon taking a peek.
And
now.
I feel better ranting and raving. All right, this is all you need to know about sports. Here you go.
Yeah, give Rutgers all the credit. They deserve to win. Played much harder, much more focused than we did. Give them all the credit. We did some things well enough to fight back into the game and felt good about things at half, and had a couple of small leads, and I thought we did a much better job on the glass after the first 6 minutes. End up with 18 offensive rebounds in a game that we were awful in the first 6 minutes, 7 minutes. But give them credit. We got a few stops late. Couldn't get a defensive rebound. And, very, very thin once Tommy went down and in foul trouble. Dylan had a nice night. But we've got to get to a point where you understand you're not going to win on the road, putting the team on the line 34 times and then turning it over as many times as we turned it over in the first, especially in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, tough game. So,
that's right.
Again, this is why I don't coach, but I think today, I'd practice a little, and then I'd sit him down, we'd watch a good movie, put on Hoosiers. And just I'd loosen up on it because he's been after him for a while, and we're really good, but obviously not playing great. And I can't explain turnovers, but we turned the ball over way too much. KJ's not playing well, but I think they're guarding him differently, and I think everybody's adjusting. Good news, it's only February. March is when it counts. We do have Duke in 15 days.
Yes, we do.
Right now I'm going, oh boy.
Yeah, Duke number 2 beat Syracuse 83-54 yesterday.
Listen, Duke's probably the best team in the nation.
Now, that's in New York City, of course.
I'll say Duke is better than Auburn, but that's because I don't like Auburn very well. So, anyway.
Who's the coach?
Oh, Bruce Pearl. But nobody knows that anymore because it's been 40 years.
That's right.
So, yeah, listen, just hang in there because we know what it feels like when we play great And Trey White apparently sick last night. Whatever, he didn't play. Thomas turned his ankle. I hope he's okay.
Yep.
Just got to get everybody on the floor and get our mojo back. But right now we're struggling a little bit. Hopefully can go play well in Minneapolis.
Illinois women, Northwestern, tonight at 6.
All right, check your weather once again because it's good to know all the time, 24/7, what's happening. Here's Greg, 8:19.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity made it through in good shape with yesterday's weather system, which is currently bringing heavy rain into parts of Kentucky, snow and ice into the northeast and New England. Winter storm watches ahead of the next weather system that takes aim around here. That on tap into the upper Midwest and parts of the northern Corn Belt. And boy, plenty of Arctic air just north of the Canadian border. We'll get into some of that cold around here for next week. In the meantime, becoming partly sunny for the day today. 43 the high with a gusty west wind. Tonight, fair colder 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, lighter wind, the high near 38. Touch of freezing rain in spots well after midnight. Tomorrow night, low down to 29. Cloudy, breezy, rainy for the day on Saturday. A spot of freezing rain early, the high about 38. And a mostly cloudy Sunday at 37. A few snow flurries here early next week. A Monday high at 35. Touch of light snow, maybe a short inch or so late Tuesday into Wednesday. 32 on Tuesday. Then daytime temperatures only in the upper 20s. Nights in the teens. A colder weather pattern for the middle and late portions of next week. For TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There was little change in the number of people signing up for unemployment benefits last week. New claims rose by 11,000 to 219,000. Economists were predicting 213,000. Continuing claims, those remaining on benefits rose to 1.88 million. Outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas is reporting job cuts down 40% in January from a year ago, but it doesn't see the trend holding because some companies have already announced job cuts in February. The monthly employment report is released tomorrow. Honeywell says it will split into 3 separate businesses. Its recent quarter was upbeat, but the stock is down 3%. Peloton shares up 13% after reporting a smaller loss in the recent quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Join me every Tuesday as we cover the full range of topics that are on your mind and speak with some brilliant, talented, thoughtful women and men who have excelled in their respective fields and careers. Plus, every Thursday is your turn. You get to be the lawyer and you get to ask the questions about whatever is foremost on your mind.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
The Nate Evans Group, eXp Realty. So you got an office right across from the fire station in downtown Mahomet.
Yep.
And that Nate Evans Group has some great energy when you walk in that building because you guys are moving and shaking. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think that was the culture we were looking for. We wanted to be a younger demographic of vibrant agents and brokers. We wanted to make sure that we brought that energy on our listing consults and things like that. It's not fun to go to work in a stale environment, and we want to create the idea that we can still have fun, have a real edgy feel to our marketing with a still professional approach with something that's taken so serious.
239-7113 is the number for Nate Evans, or you can go online to nateevansgroup.com. I know that if I want to sell my home, Nate Evans is the man.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to the nateevansgroup.com.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do insulation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance. And they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today. 217-586-3863. Or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is not a one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is that we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
I want you to hear the music, Michelle.
Didn't you dance to some Michael Jackson or something?
I sure did.
Is that what I heard?
I sure did.
Is that when you did like break dancing and all
no
this?
break dancing,
No, nothing
no
like.
glove. It was our own interpretation.
Man, I tell you what, I kind of miss Michael Jackson. He died way too young. He was getting ready for another concert series and then just...
I was lucky enough to see him in
You
concert.
did? So too. Both of you did.
Yeah, I saw him actually in the Philippines.
Did really?
Rilla in Manila.
No
yeah,
way.
They
Wow, that would have been awesome.
It was.
I bet there was a lot of people there.
It was
Oh boy, and they had the sound and you could see on the screen and stuff like
it
that.
was so fun.
Yeah.
So, and this, of course, was the See You Dancing with the Stars event for
Yeah.
the Don
Correct,
Moyer
for the
Boys
Don
and
Moyer
Girls
Boys and
Club.
Girl- mhm.
You were recorded, or recruited as one of the dancers,
Mhm.
and you did so well. And I know with CU Schools Foundation and your role there.
Executive Director of the CU 6-month CU Schools Foundation,
6 months
which
in.
does what?
We raise funds to provide grant money for teachers so that they can have different programs, activities, materials, things that they don't get from their school budget so they can enhance their teaching.
Usually teachers, I think, spend $500 a year of their own money.
It's
Isn't that
in-
the average? Something like that?
I mean, I must have
In
spent
the-
that much in one summer.
So you
before- to
taught?
prepare. I was a third grade teacher for 12 years back in the day.
Don't you miss those little kids?
I do, but now I get to still make my impact in the school.
What school was that, Michelle?
I was at Booker T. Washington
Mhm.
and Southside.
Nice.
Third grade at both
I'm
buildings.
sure all of your students went on to great things because of their third grade teacher.
That is the best gift of being a teacher is seeing what they're doing in the world now as adults.
Do you recognize them when you see them?
Yes.
You really do?
I mean, most of the time.
Remember their names? Some
I
of
mean,
them?
oh yeah,
Wow.
I have to remember their.
That's
well,
a-
I mean, some they have to remind me. But
I understand, but it's a lot of kids. 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. About a little over 200 kids that I
Well,
got to.
all right, CU Schools Foundation has a big old 6-hour concert coming up.
Correct.
Tell me about it.
So we are having a music fest on February 16th at the City Center, starting at 1 o'clock. We're going to have 10 bands. Each band features CU teachers, staff members, or students. We've got everything from mariachi to hip hop to punk rock to tango to rock. And it's a fun-filled event for families and children and everyone of all ages. So we're going to have information tables, kids activities. We're going to have food by Dish Passionate Cuisine. City Center is donating the space. Thank you, City Center. Thank you to all our sponsors. We have some wonderful sponsors supporting us. And the best thing is that we really want to encourage our school families to come. So we are giving discounted tickets to our students for $5 and parents and staff members for $10. And then for the rest of the community, since it's a fundraiser, tickets are $40.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of music. You get $50 to CU Schools Foundation anyway.
Correct.
So now you
correct.
get all this stuff
10
with it.
bands for $40. I think that's quite
Is
a
there
deal.
food around or what is?
Yes, there's food by Dish Passionate Cuisine.
But that's like included?
No, there's tickets for food.
Okay,
that
so you
can
buy
purchase.
tickets, right?
Buy
Yeah,
tickets
yeah.
online. There's a menu that shows
Yeah.
the food that you can purchase.
Okay.
Will this be in and out? Will people come for a couple hours and more people come a couple hours?
We are about to find
Okay.
out. This is an inaugural event. We've never done this before, but I have a feeling that it's a long day, so people probably will come in and out. But you get a wristband, so if you have to leave and come back, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Bring the kids at the beginning.
What's the
drop them off home.
Sunday, February 16th at
Correct.
City Center.
That's it.
What's the music scene like in Champaign-Urbana now?
So vibrant.
I mean,
so vibrant.
thousands of people are fans of bands around here.
I don't know a number. I'm not going to claim
Yeah.
to know a number, but I go to Friday Night Lives every weekend in the summertime. I go to the Rose Bowl often because they have music every day.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful
That's
that we
great.
have so much talent with our School of Music from the university. We bring in so much talent.
Yeah,
and
we do.
And musicians stay here.
Are you shocked sometimes when you see the math teacher playing the guitar, say, I didn't know you played? Because sometimes it'll shock you. Say, you're a keyboard and singer and you're doing like industrial arts? I mean, how do you do? It's amazing.
It does and it doesn't. I mean, teachers are amazing. They also are having those who teach can exhibit at the Krannert Art Museum. Art teachers are going to be displaying the art. So this is kind of the same spin on it, but with music.
And I like that you're doing We Are the Schools instead of We Are the World.
So We Are the Schools is actually what we're calling our strategic plan at CU Schools Foundation that we started implementing this past year. And so we have other initiatives coming down the pipeline that you will hear about later, but it's all about how we, that's you, me, and our friends and our community, are the schools.
It's awesome. Michelle, how can people learn more about it? It's coming up here in a week.
And how to keep supporting 31 schools in Champaign-Urbana.
Thank you.
Is there 31 schools?
Yes.
Grants, programs, initiatives.
So we're so lucky. So you can go to our website at cusf.org, or you could type in cuschoolsfoundation.org. Either way, it'll bring you there.
Okay.
And then if you go to the events tab, you'll see the information for the Music Fest. We also have our distinguished alumni reception coming up in April. The awardees were announced last week. So we have a lot of stuff happening right now.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, again, the date is?
February 16th, 1 to 7 p.m. at City Center.
Gotcha. And that's
City
a Sunday.
Center's the old...
That is the Sunday before
Sunday.
President's Day, so the kids don't have school the
Boom!
next day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Well, that's great. Listen, I hope it goes well. I hope we raise a lot of money.
Thank
But
you.
nice to have you in our studio.
Thank
Congratulations on Dancing with the Stars and your backflip that you did. That was amazing.
Stop it. My knees would not be able to handle that.
Listen, thanks for coming in and congratulations on getting the job.
Thank you.
CUSchoolsfoundation.org.
Michelle Gonzalez, Executive Director of CU Schools Foundation. Again, Sunday, the 16th at City Center. A big old day of music, and you'll love it. All right, ESPN 93.5. Check your news. Our Pitmaster Tim Onstop coming up on this Thursday. It is Thursday, February 5. Is it? 6. February 6th. We'll be right back.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. President Trump speaks at the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington this morning, first addressing members of Congress at the Capitol.
From the earliest days of our republic, faith in God has always been the ultimate source of the strength that beats in the hearts of our nation. We have to bring religion back.
The tradition started with President Eisenhower in 1953. Elon Musk's Doge cost-cutting teams given access to Centers for Medicare and Medicaid payment systems.
The Treasury Department says the Department of Government Efficiency's access to the CMS system is read-only. Democrats on the Senate Intelligence Committee have sent a letter to Trump's chief of staff asking what security precautions have been taken to prevent leaks by Doge staff. They cited a national security risk, saying that such information would be highly valuable to Russia, China, Iran, and other nations.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign firefighters responded to a fire in the downtown area Wednesday morning near 210 South Market Street. A passerby reporting a fire in the single-story commercial building. Once on scene, firefighters found some materials that had caught fire. They extinguished the blaze within 5 minutes. The cause is unknown. Champaign City Council member who faced backlash for posting a swastika on his personal Facebook page asking for forgiveness. Council member Davion Williams releasing a statement apologizing for the now-deleted post. He also publicly apologized during a meeting last night, saying he understands the pain that the symbol represents for so many. Governor of the Illinois Department of Revenue encouraging eligible residents to take advantage of tax credits when filing this year's income tax returns. Illinois Earned Income Tax Credit is a benefit for working people with low to moderate income. Other credits include the Illinois Child Tax Credit, Volunteer Emergency Worker Credit, and the Education Expense Credit. You're up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
Don't believe the Valentine's hype. She doesn't want jewelry. She wants to park the car in the garage. Two Men in a Junk Truck know she's tired of clutter. This Valentine's Day, give her the gift of space. Two Men in a Junk Truck can help you declutter your home and make room for what matters most. Get $25 off your junk removal service by using code LOVE25.
I love it.
Go to twomeninajuncktruck.com and book your truck today. Offer valid at Two Men in a Junk Truck, Champaign, Illinois.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Hi, this is Troy Lands from Lands Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. With colder temperatures here, let's make sure your heating system is operating at its best. At Lands, you can join our comfort family and get exclusive savings and support to keep your heating system in tip-top shape this winter and all year round. Our plans offer tune-ups, discounts on repair, and even lifetime system enhancements. Plus, we back up our equipment with labor warranty when we install it. Find out more about our comfort family maintenance plans at landsinc.com. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Weather with Greg this morning brought to you by Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. And by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor. Kurt Lenschow and State Farm are there.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois. Champaign and vicinity made it through in good shape with yesterday's weather system, which is currently bringing heavy rain into parts of Kentucky, snow and ice into the northeast and New England. Winter storm watches ahead of the next weather system that takes aim around here. That on tap into the upper Midwest and parts of the northern Corn Belt. And boy, plenty of Arctic air just north of the Canadian border. We'll get into some of that cold around here for next week. In the meantime, becoming partly sunny for the day today. 43 the high with a gusty west wind. Tonight, fair colder 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, lighter wind, the high near 38. Touch of freezing rain in spots well after midnight. Tomorrow night, low down to 29. Cloudy, breezy, rainy for the day on Saturday. A spot of freezing rain early, the high about 38. And a mostly cloudy Sunday at 37. A few snow flurries here early next week. A Monday high at 35. Touch of light snow, maybe a short inch or so late Tuesday into Wednesday. 32 on Tuesday. The daytime temperatures only in the upper 20s. Nights in the teens. A colder weather pattern for the middle and late portions of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
And now, a brand new show called Smoke, where we help you with your grill and making the best meat ever. With award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt. Smoke in Tim's Grill. He's the best brisket maker ever. Smoke in Tim's Grill. And now award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt. So 2 days ago, we're making steaks on the lodge on the stove. Right, Tim?
Yep.
So had oil on it, pretty much salt and pepper kind of rubbed in there. So we're pretty fired up. And then a little oil on 500-degree lodge created smoke, which my fire alarm went off and couldn't get it fixed. 25 minutes. It's just like, whoa.
Right.
Anyway, we sorted it out thanks to Station 6, the fire department.
Man.
Trying to say, well, you just kind of have to open all the doors and windows.
Ventilate a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
so
there were texts in, Stevie, when you shared this story saying, why the heck is he cooking inside? What? They didn't know about this lodge. Why aren't you doing stuff in your garage?
Well, it's on a stove.
Okay.
I could put it on the grill. I could put it on the grill, Tim, right? I mean, I could have done that. But I'm not sure I could have achieved the heat.
I see.
You put the lodge in the stove.
I've never
make
heard
it
of a
500
lodge,
degrees. It's a big steel thing like Boy Scouts use.
Okay.
It's big and heavy. Anyway, Tim, that was my cooking experience. The steaks actually were good, but we didn't eat them cold because we had an alarm system going on. Janet was in the car with the dogs trying to stay warm. So anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you would get rid of your oil's bad.
It is?
Get some good...
rub
Irish butter and use that on those steaks and baste them with a little bit of rosemary in there, fresh rosemary, and just Gordon Ramsay does it. Just keep spooning that butter over the steak as it cooks, and it won't burn, it won't smoke, it'll sizzle and make it just perfect.
So rosemary is like
super good.
Like a branch? Is that like a fir tree? Isn't that rosemary?
Yeah. It looks like it's a herb, but it looks like it comes off of a pine tree. Yeah.
That's Tim Onsod. He knows also. I'll try and do butter all over the thing
Irish
with
butter.
rosemary, no oil, and then because we had real good Italian oil. It was really good oil, but that was smoky too. Okay, it's Tim Onsod. He's our
always taking it up a notch.
Oh, he knows how to do it, man. And you also know why Greenland's Greenland.
I smoke meat. I know things.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Greenland was the first large misinformation campaign by world leaders. The Vikings had went to Greenland, and then they pulled back to Iceland and had established Iceland, but they wanted to get a hold of that Greenland territory, so they named it Greenland to fool the people into thinking that it was green and not ice, and they got people to move that way. That's how they got it populated.
And the people that moved that way were about 56,000 on this massive land piece, and they're still there. Just descendants, I guess.
The same people. Yeah, they haven't. Nobody else has went.
Well, maybe if it's so cold, it kind of is like a cremation or whatever they call that thing where you freeze your body.
Right.
And maybe that's in effect. If you're so cold, your skin is beautiful because the sun never sees it. Anyway, Tim, we wanted to talk about what was that? What was the thing in the fat of the meat?
Fat cats.
Fat cats. That's it. What is that?
Yep. Well, when you buy a brisket or pork butt, it's got a layer of fat. It's the outside of the meat. It's basically what is there when the skin comes off. And there's a lot of different thoughts on whether to leave the fat cap on or take the fat cap off. I have had this discussion with Myron Mixon, 5-time world champion, won over 200 grand championships, best in the world, blah, blah, blah. He tells you to leave a quarter to a half inch of fat, of that fat cap, on the brisket. And I asked him why. Why would you do that? And his answer was to protect the meat. And I said, protect it from what? You're trying to cook it. Well, his answer was protect it from the heat. But why would you protect it from the heat? You're trying to cook it. So I take that fat cap completely off. And a side note, I have faced Myron in competition. We've had our meat on the same table. He's never beaten me at brisket.
How about that? Well, see,
but
brisket, the fat cap would bring flavor, wouldn't it? The fat?
No, that's hard. It's hard. It's hard fat. You wouldn't want to put it in your mouth even after it's cooked.
Okay.
It's nasty.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I vote for you. Okay. So.
I take the fat cap off. Now pork, he is a 5-time Memphis and May world pork champion. He's won 4 whole hog competitions. He knows his stuff about pork. I do leave some fat cap on a pork butt.
Okay.
The reason I do that's not to protect it from the heat, but it serves pork dries out really fast. I think most people know that. You can ruin a good pork loin or whatever by cooking it too fast. And the same thing with a pork butt. But you leave that fat cap on there, and that does help retain that moisture.
Yeah.
Now you remember on brisket, we've talked about it before. We're only cooking it till we get the color and smoke on it that we want. Then we're going to wrap it up and finish cooking it.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting some texts in about, it would just stink up the house if you're cooking inside like you did.
Yeah, smell good, though.
Okay. and then there's something about rinsing off your steaks before you cook them.
We did that.
Okay. Yeah. And do you do that, Tim?
Do I rinse my steaks before I cook them?
Yeah, that's what the texter said.
Right.
No, I pat them dry with a paper towel.
I do that, but I rinsed it first. Shouldn't have rinsed
right.
it.
They say they could be contaminated with other products from the
I only
slaughterhouse.
did, honestly, I did what my son-in-law was doing. I was copying pretty much what he was doing. So, okay, so Tim, he's in charge of Dixie Choppers and Dedicated Diesel and Gale Frericks Trucking. Let's begin with Gale Frericks Trucking. How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing real good. We got a bunch of great guys, and I want to shout out two of them, Beyondre and Davion, yesterday. They're the new guys that started in the fall. We had to straighten out a few small, minor issues, technical difficulties that they had to make a couple of changes and get on board with the team on a couple of things. They accepted training just marvelously, and that's how we work together, and it was a good discussion. We got things done. That's how things are done around here. If we need to fix something, we face it head on. We get it fixed, and those guys did great with that. And it's the same as the rest of the team, and that's the kind of guys we're looking for that really want to service the customer and want to do things right and want to be successful. They want to make good money. They want to be home with their families on the weekends, and that's the kind of guys that we need here.
It's awesome. What's the kind of guys you got?
Well, with me being in Memphis, Tim, I am in such awe of these semi-truck drivers that are all over the roads, and I feel like you can kind of tell who has experience and who doesn't to keep everyone safe on the roadways. And as far as training and GFT, they kind of go hand in hand, and you got everyone very experienced on your crew.
Oh yeah, it's a great team, and even the ones that don't have much experience, we're teaching them the right ways to do things, and that goes a long way. We don't just tell them what to do. I'm a teacher at heart, so I'm teaching them why we're doing it and why we want to do those things.
Yeah,
that really hits home with them. They appreciate that. Other companies will just tell you, well, you do this, this, and this, and they're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why are we doing that? But once I explain why we're doing things, they're more than willing to get on board and do it, and it just makes things run so much smoother. And they find out it runs smoother for them out on the road too when they do it.
Maybe you should train me to be a semi driver, and we'll just try it. I'll be breaker 19. Tim, I'm outside Austin on the ramp. If you want to come get your rig, because I'm right here on the ramp and I'm not going further. Does that work?
Well, Stevie, you can do it because you got both hands free to turn the steering wheel. We don't have the gear shifts anymore. They're all automatics. It's
wow, that's nice.
It's just a pleasant drive in your pickup truck.
Yeah, but
with
it's
a 53-foot trailer behind.
Yeah, I was going to say, too darn big to drive. Hey, Tim, how are we doing at Dedicated Diesel and the Dixie Chopper?
I was in there yesterday, and Andy and Jeremy are ready to go. If Mandy's birthday was Monday, she's doing well. She's ready to write some orders up. So get down there and get those things bought up. It's a great time to buy them right now. The prices are the lowest they'll be all year.
You have a super big time Dixie Chopper.
Yeah, what are some of the benefits to having a Dixie Chopper when it comes to your lawn?
Number one is it has nothing to do with your lawn. It has to do with your home time. If you're a truck driver, you got very limited home time. You got to get home, get that yard mowed in a hurry, and they're the fastest mower in the world. So it's about creating time to smoke meat and enjoy your family.
Plus, it'd be fun to go fast on a mower.
Right.
It'd be fun.
Knock out those jobs.
That'd be fun. Tim Onstad, always a pleasure, my friend. Love talking to you on Thursday.
Thank you, guys. Diane, glad you're back. Stevie sounds more relaxed today, except for the Illinois loss. We're sorry about that.
Darn it.
Brutal.
And, I went to Rendezvous and enjoyed those ribs, and the Memphis rub is what the waiter was talking about, more the dry rub than the seasonings and the barbecue sauce and things like that. And you and I were texting about barbecue, and you had mentioned going down to Memphis and being with your dad and hitting some of those spots right off Beale Street. Awesome.
Yep. It's a fun place. I'm not a huge fan of the dry rub, but I love Memphis, the atmosphere. We go down just south of Memphis into Mississippi and cook a competition once in a while, and it's a lot of fun down there. That is barbecue heaven.
Hey, buddy, thanks for your time, and happy weekend. We'll talk soon, Tim. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Tim Onstadt, pitmaster extraordinaire, brisket maker.
And he knows things.
He knows things. You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
What is most important in your life? This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. If you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Friendly sales team help you to find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous
Wow!
Yeah, that's the one. That
Wow!
is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the
Wow!
in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide, I'll make sure it's here for decades to come. We're the store that makes you say,
Wow!
We stand behind what we sell, we offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity made it through in good shape with yesterday's weather system, which is currently bringing heavy rain into parts of Kentucky, snow and ice into the northeast and New England. Winter storm watches ahead of the next weather system that takes aim around here. That on tap into the upper Midwest and parts of the northern Corn Belt. And boy, plenty of Arctic air just north of the Canadian border. We'll get into some of that cold around here for next week. In the meantime, becoming partly sunny for the day today. 43 the high with a gusty west wind. Tonight, fair colder 24. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, lighter wind, the high near 38. Touch of freezing rain in spots well after midnight. Tomorrow night, low down to 29. Cloudy, breezy, rainy for the day on Saturday. A spot of freezing rain early, the high about 38. And a mostly cloudy Sunday at 37. A few snow flurries here early next week. A Monday high at 35. Touch of light snow, maybe a short inch or so late Tuesday into Wednesday. 32 on Tuesday. The daytime temperatures only in the upper 20s. Nights in the teens. A colder weather pattern for the middle and late portions of next week. For Steve J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
That's all right. We're going to be halfway through February next Friday, so there you go. And we're shaking off the Illini loss last night. I obviously haven't talked about it a ton. We played some Brad Underwood. He gave credit to Rutgers. I thought Rutgers guarded hard and played hard. And our guys really fought back from a 23-6.
Right, Will Riley
deficit.
with 18 to lead the team, but
Yeah.
we're all concerned about Tomislav and what happened with the ankle.
Turned his ankle, stepped on another guy coming down, and looked like a pretty strong turn on that ankle, but he did come back in and play. I don't know how he felt.
We'll just know more today.
Yeah, get an evaluation. They're always pretty guarded on all that because why would you let a team know if you're playing or not?
Absolutely.
So he might very well be questionable for Minneapolis. Hope he's better next week because I don't know if we can beat UCLA or Michigan State without Tomislav Isevic.
Right.
So you just keep fighting, keep going.
That's right. The Minnesota game is Saturday, February 8th at
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
I wonder what channel team?
It does.
BTM?
BTN.
Okay. All right. So we'll just, keep going. Illini women tonight against Northwestern.
Yep. 6 o'clock tip for that. And then Tuesday, February 11th, UCLA comes to our house, and that game's on Peacock. 7 o'clock start at the State Farm Center.
It's Kofi's night. We raised Kofi Coburn's jersey. He'll get a huge ovation.
Absolutely. And Express Employment Professionals, your link to top talent and recruitment opportunities at expresspros.com. Sponsoring our ticket giveaways, you text in Illini 217-359-2255.
I think Derek Piper was in New Jersey last night. So I presume he's flying home. I mean, you just think about that schedule. I know. Derek drove to Lincoln, Nebraska, then flew to New Jersey. Probably landed in LaGuardia.
Well,
probably?
And because we lost, was Coach Underwood salty, and was there a crappy player comment?
Nope, none of that. None of that.
Okay, we're moving on.
No, it's just all good, and it was brief. It was an 8-minute press conference, but I listened to it actually on the way in because they don't post the road pressers very early.
Okay, gotcha.
So probably didn't get posted till after midnight. But no, I mean, he's disappointed, and he was pretty angry during the game. He was getting after the guys pretty good. But Will Riley, Kasper Shaka-Jonas, and they're 18 years old. And I know it's not an excuse. It's just they're young.
Yeah.
And they're pretty doggone good at basketball. I mean, they really are.
Darn, fat cap up or down cooking pork, says Steven, and a request line. Maybe we'll table that for next week when Tim Onstad is on.
He knows all about that.
If Stevie gives his recommendation, well, he had a fire this week with the oil.
I didn't have a fire. I had a smoke.
Okay.
Whatever. It was too smoky in the kitchen. It was smoky, but I got every door open. All the neighbors are driving by slowly.
There's another comment about why aren't you doing that more in the garage?
Well, because it's a stove. I can't put the stove in the garage. Okay. I could have put it on the grill.
Whatever.
I don't know if I can achieve the heat, though. Okay, people. I'm real good at this.
Got mutiny from the grillers and pitmasters out there.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Enjoy the day.
Diane Ducey, I'm Stevie J. Have a great Thursday.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Tim Onstad, talk to me about dedicated diesel and Dixie Chopper. Anything new here?
Hey, we have no snow on the ground over here now. It's melted off. You can see the grass. It's time to think about mowing it here in a couple of months. But now's a great time to get over to see Andy and get your Dixie Chopper picked out. Make a deal with him. Financing available. There's discounts for first responders, all kinds of things. Andy can run through that and help you out.
And Gail Ferrick's Trucking, how's everything?
Oh, we're trucking along. It's busy right now. We have 2 empty seats. I think we filled one up last week. We had a nice young guy come in and get set up, and he's going to be going out here in a week or so, and that'll leave us 2 seats for somebody that wants a guaranteed gross pay for the week and wants to have some home time and be able to enjoy his family also.
Awesome. And how do they contact Tim Onstad?
They can get me at Timo, Timo, at gftlog.com or call the office at 765-793-7131.
Our friendly sales team help you to find just the right appliance, just the right price.
I'm Paul Reekin, and you know my dad, Dennis, for the famous
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Wow
is a Central Illinois tradition, decades in the making. It's our award-winning staff that puts the
Wow
in Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We have in-house service, in-house appliance installation, a knowledgeable sales staff that will make sure you Get the guaranteed best deal on your next appliance purchase. Oh, and let's not forget, a jingle that's been around for decades. Just like the quality service we provide, I'll make sure it's here for decades to come. We're the store that makes you say, wow!
We stand behind what we sell, we offer so much more. Big Bad Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors.